your channel where we talk about controversial topics. We talk about fun stuff, politics,
extraordinarily
history.
offensive.
We try to keep it as offensive as possible. Just kidding. We're going to talk about the fun topic of mail-in voting today and how it has affected
Cheat by mail.
how it has affected our election and how people are reacting to this whole mail-in.
I call it
voting.
mass cheat by mail and future of the republic, and that's actually one of the issues that topic of discussion during this election so far. But obviously, it has nothing to do just with the presidential election. It affected all down ballot, all the way to the local. So, I mean, this is something that Supreme Court has to deal with. They already have this case in Pennsylvania, one of the candidates that saying this mass mail vote is unconstitutional. And actually, I see it as the standing of the Supreme Court because of all the irregularities that has happened so far, all the fraud that has happened so far, and all the irregularities that happened during the primaries, even in between the party primaries. Let's say in New York and New Jersey, multiple people get arrested. They had up to 20-30% irregularities and fraudulent votes. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's massive. Even if you have 2-3%, that can 1%.
Let me ask you a question.
Do that. So
let me ask you a question. Did they check your ID when you voted?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think they check people's ID when they send in the mail-in ballots?
No. So no chain of custody and no.
So how the hell do you think the person that gets a mail-in ballot is actually theirs besides their name?
Only that.
What happens if someone's on a mission and gets
destroyed? Yeah.
Someone's on a mission to get they get somebody else's ballot in the mail. What are the chances of them signing that ballot and sending it back in? How are they going to trace?
That's what the ballot harvesting is. They go to the places there are lots of buildings and stuff. They shipped all this. They go and collect it, fill it up, sand it.
I read a story that people were registering a commercial site that has no apartments, that has no
P.O.
offices.
box.
No, not P.O. box. Actual addresses.
Right, commercial addresses.
And they were putting apartment number on there. I gotta verify the story, but that's the problem with mail-in ballot. We're not talking about absentee ballot.
Just think about it. Just in big cities, how many people move around
constantly? Right.
People have a hard time to update their driver's license. Somebody just moved 5 states, they haven't changed their driver's license. How do you think like people, especially people that live in big cities, moving from places to places, younger people? So you're going to have a person that has moved multiple times, and those voter rolls, they don't even update it with the dead people. People that are actually literally died at the hospital or a morgue. The government knows about it, the state knows about it, and those voter rolls are not cleared up.
Yeah.
So if the dead people, which we actually have evidence, literally people voting from 1800s, mid 1800s, 1850s, I couldn't believe it until I saw it. Public record, right?
We talked about this. Yeah. We definitely talked about this.
If those voter rolls are not clear from dead people and people from mid 1900s voted with absentee ballot or cheat by mail, how are we going to just handle people receiving multiple things? I mean, this is a joke. Zero trust, zero credibility. I mean, if this is going to be the game from this point on, we should just not have election, say goodbye. Okay, let's just see what's going to happen after that. Yeah. And that's unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. You see in Venezuela, they said, okay, we are in power. If you talk, we are just going to smash your head.
Guess what? At this point, if this is how they want to do it, if this is the way they want to go forward, I guarantee you, I've been right thus far on how the election was going, and I guarantee you, if this mail-in ballot thing flies as a legitimate process, GOP is not going to have a chance to have another candidate in the presidency.
No, unless if they do the same thing.
They're not going to do it. GOP is so spineless, too. GOP is spineless. They're not going to do anything like that. I'm tired. They're way too... Well, I can't even say it. They're honest. I can't stand 99.9% of the politicians, period. And and by them having this process approved and letting it continue to go through, and not having a specific process in place to validate these votes. Okay, vote validation is key.
You can't say that because in Pennsylvania they had specific rule saying, number one, after 8 p.m.
No voting.
on election night, no vote can be bring in. You cannot
You
bring
cannot
any
vote.
vote. That means if it was mailed, it has to be there before 8 p.m. election day. I'm sorry, you had multiple months of advertising this, collecting, harvesting, all those illegal things needs to be counted. If Texas can count its ballots within the same election
Is
night, the
Pennsylvania
same.
done counting yet?
No, probably if they need votes, they're gonna find it.
What are these
If they
people
need
doing?
votes, if Trump wins some
What are
lawsuits and
these
stuff,
people doing?
that's what I'm saying. It's a joke. And then people, I have zero confidence. Zero.
Michigan just certified their their votes.
Yeah, but
I
even
think
that's they're going to go to the court.
yeah,
It
but
doesn't matter.
that's even going to go to court.
But I'm
And I
saying
think-
you can't say the legislation wasn't there if the executive disregarded that. That's unconstitutional. Now, I'm hoping that the Supreme Court have the backbone to stop this madness, to understand. Obviously, they know they have winked. Justice Alito said that they had to separate those things. But seriously, there is a question about constitutionality of because there's two things: verifiable. You need to have the vote to be verified, right? Beyond doubt that vote is valid, which you cannot do that with mass cheat by mail operation. Secondly, it loses that privacy element, right? So you are voting as a citizen, you go to that voting booth, that's your privacy. Nobody sees that. But we have people cutting on camera this absentee cheat by mails coming in. The guy sees it's a Trump vote. Somebody actually live streamed it, ripping off Trump votes.
Let me ask you a
ripping it
question,
off.
man. Let me ask you.
Okay, this is Trump. There you go.
How much propaganda had a role in this mail-in voting? How much propaganda do you think it took to convince people to use mail-in voting?
It's not propaganda. Nobody decided for it. So you think we live here in the state?
No,
the governor
but
decided.
look,
Okay, we are going to start it. Did anybody
they-
voted for that?
But no, nobody voted. But
Exactly.
here's the thing.
So,
so
you have
actually,
a Democrat governor. It doesn't matter if the
so here's the thing.
Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, all
When did it
all
start?
those three, at least all those three.
My question was, when did it start for them to start advocating for mail-in voting? What
Summer.
month? What month?
I believe like in June, once they started pushing back this coronavirus garbage, just keep dragging, and then they started saying, okay.
It started late April. Late April was a month after into the lockdown, where they said, "Oh my God, now we need to figure out that we're in the middle of the election year. How are we going to use this in our benefit?" And this is where the post office started freaking out. This is when the post office was being targeted as what do they call it? The Trump office. They call it the Trump office.
I have some news on that.
Because they said, "Oh, Trump is now starting to move mailboxes around, or removing mailboxes so people can't vote." So, if you listen to our last episode about how propaganda works, this is how propaganda actually. The propaganda machine is very, very effective when it gets down to uninformed individuals, where people get scared really quick when they see scenes of like little clips, little clips of things where there's people start filming. Oh my God, Trump has ordered the post office to remove these mailboxes from the streets where voter suppression happens. This is voter suppression. Remember they did that? Then what did the USPS director came out and said? We actually do that based on data of how much mail is collected and transferred out of the streets. We move mailboxes all the time, which is a true story because during the Obama time it was the same thing.
Right.
But this time now they have a new thing in play, which was the
Now there is an
coronavirus.
interesting news. I don't know. I've heard some stuff. I don't know if it applies to this election, but on February 7th, U.S. Postal Services, which is not known for their ingenuity and high tech,
They suck. They
right?
suck.
So in February 7th, I think Trump probably just read their mind. On February 7th, U.S. Postal Services applied for QFS blockchain technology for the mailing absentee ballot system. So here it says a voting system can use the security of a blockchain and the mail to provide a reliable voting system. So that's what it says is, and actually that was published on August 13th. And they have the diagram, and it looks like actually black dots and the watermark. So a lot of people on internet, they're saying, oh, this was a Department of Homeland Security's sting operation and stuff. But actually, I think
That was actually debunked. It wasn't a...
no,
not
this is
the watermark. I'm talking about
the watermark. This is
Homeland
like somebody actually
the DHS one,
showing
yeah.
the ballots. So I don't know exactly if this is applied, but the government, Homeland Security, provide the papers to states to do that. So think about that. Blockchain means like a specific serial number that you have on your banknote, on your money,
But
that they know exactly when that money was printed, where
Look.
it came from, how it circulated, when it goes to the system that scans those numbers, then they know, and that's how we get the economic data of the circulation
I
of the money.
believe this is what.
So
I
that's
believe.
another angle to
In
it. So
2018, the president put in an executive order for foreign interference in our election. Okay, that was 2018. Now we're in 2020. I think Trump already knew that he was going to be challenged on this vote, on this election, and as much as we, almost everybody thought who voted for him that he's going to win by landslide, because the enthusiasm for him was beyond what I've seen in my entire life. And when the election happened, all of a sudden, everything is in a deadlock. Everything now falls on the swing states. And who are these swing states ran by? All Democrats. Every single
only
one.
a few cities.
Every single one, okay? Now here's where I have a question, where the GOP flipped 8 seats.
More than that, 11 seats or something.
I think right now it's 8.
They got one. They got more. They got
Okay,
more.
8 seats. It looks like they're gonna keep the Senate. Do you think there were that many angry voters out there saying, "Oh, I hate Trump. I'm just gonna vote
For all the other Republicans.
I'm just gonna vote for Biden, but everything Republican after that." Do you think
With 10 million more votes.
with 10 million more votes? Actually, some in Michigan, one of the counties had more votes than its population. So so what I'm trying to say is, all this mail-in voting scheme, whatever you want to call it, I don't trust it. I do not trust it, because you know what? I think if you want to vote, you should be ID'd. You should be verified that you are a U.S. citizen. That
I'm in person.
and this is
In
what
person.
and this
I'm
is
against a lot
what
of
this
the
is what
absentees.
gets me. This is what gets me. If you knew you have underlying conditions, if you knew you are a high-risk individual, you could have easily asked for an absentee ballot. Very simple. You asked for it. We had months to do this.
And nobody voted for it.
Okay, nobody wanted. This was just like Obamacare was forced down our throat. You could have requested an absentee ballot and filled out the information, submit your verification information, and send it out, and then they'll send it back. They'll send you a ballot. That's your absentee ballot. You had months to do this, right? But then the states that took it upon themselves are like, no, don't do that. It's fine. We'll just mail you the ballot and sign it and send it back. And
you're not going to verify the signature.
Under perjury, if you're not the person signing this ballot under the perjury, you committed a felony. But you know what? They already had this planned out. This was already planned out.
And that was part of it.
Okay, and this is, they don't call it, because if we call it voter fraud, we're going to get banned. So we call it voter irregularities. This was a voter irregularity.
My question to people is, you have 5-year-old kids playing and they're cheating in a game. You know what I'm saying? People playing balls, they're cheating in a game. They're doing everything, not even for money. You know what I'm saying? You have friends coming over there playing cards and stuff, trying to just mess up. Everybody's just, you know what I'm saying? Do you expect anybody really believe that we have no fraud, irregularities?
I would love to hear people's thought on this topic,
especially if you make it easy for somebody to be able to commit and cheat and get away with it. Okay? And as we were discussing, all these cities simultaneously, close to each other, stop the count. Why? Why you stop counting?
Well, they stopped counting. All of a sudden, there was like a boom. There was a shift.
Massive number of
800,
Joe Biden.
800,000 votes.
Right.
800,000.
4 a.m.
Do you want to tell me out of those 800,000, not 1%? 1%, 80,000. 1%, no, 8,000. 1% of those 800,000
it doesn't fit
didn't vote for Trump.
It doesn't fit those counties.
I don't believe it.
It doesn't fit the rest of the state, those patterns. It doesn't fit other Democrat-run or Democrat-controlled big cities all over the nation. There are incredible anomalies, like showing that all, let's say, votes, they can see that, right? Because they have the raw data. And I believe that's going to all come out because the margin was so wide. This wasn't like 10,000, 20,000 close election. No, he won by such a wide margin that they had to go all out from all sorts of different things to make up for it. So.
What I think this process is going to do is basically is going to deter people from voting ever again, because and I think that was part of the plan, is basically make people think that their vote don't count. Their voices don't count. I don't care what party.
Demoralize people.
I don't care which party you're voting for. Honestly, if Joe Biden wins, fair and square. Basically, if it was a fair election,
it's
fair.
Not. I don't believe it.
I'm just saying. No. Hold on.
Nobody can come and tell
me tell you something. No, not right now. I'm just saying. If Joe Biden.
So if he didn't won right now, it doesn't matter if they put him in the office.
Hold on.
He didn't campaign for nothing. They didn't ask him questions. He was sleeping the whole time.
Wait a second.
We don't have. I'm sorry. You don't trust that guy to give you a right to.
I don't trust him.
I
don't trust him for anything. But what I'm trying to say is, if he is elected fair and square, if all the votes are valid. Okay, if all the votes are valid, which means, what do I mean by valid? Meaning by state law, the votes that came in were validated votes by validated voters, and Joe Biden came in as the winner, we have no problem.
We need to have audit. Then you have to audit the
we have no problem. He's the winner. He won the election fair and square. No, we're not talking about the possible, not impossible. We're talking about if he won fair and square, okay? Which means by no cheating, by no irregularities, everything was good to go, meaning all the voters are correct.
He had a Freudian slip, said that they have the most comprehensive
again, I'm not arguing
Jesus Christ.
I'm not arguing this. What I'm arguing is, if the votes were correct, if the votes were legitimate, then he's the president. If not, then this discussion is valid.
The other thing is a voter tabulation.
Well, yeah, the electronic voting tabulation. Why is the voting tabulations being done outside of the United States at a foreign country?
Owned by foreigners.
So Trump was smart.
Foreigners.
Trump was smart. 2018, he put an executive order to basically stop the interference of the foreign countries into our election. So, in conclusion, we don't know what's going to happen.
It's going to go to the Supreme Court.
It's going to go to the Supreme. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's actually going to be the winner.
Well, the update is...
not Trump himself, one of the people in his cabinet told Biden that allowing the transition team to
No, that's the GSA. That's
whatever GSA, whoever the hell they are, I don't know. So they now the media is on a spiral. Oh, Trump is conceding,
No,
and
he
said, is this a sign that he lost the election? Blah blah blah. No, this is gonna go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court is gonna make the decision based on how the law applies to all these mail-in ballots and if they are constitutional or if they're not
and for
constitutional.
people that they get too joyous for Biden win. First thing first, he hasn't won nothing. All this big tag probably they're gonna put over here as they did on our other videos.
Yeah.
AP has called the election. AP is nobody. Who is Associated Press? They are not nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Media cannot call the election.
Exactly. Media cannot call the election when you have somebody else challenging the result of the
Exactly.
election. And it's going through constitutional process.
They cannot.
So nobody is the president-elect. There is no office of president-elect. There is no such a thing. That's a made-up office.
Yeah, and if that was the case, why is it crowdfunding?
But the
why
big
is Biden crowdfunding his
Not only that,
his office?
The big news today is Chief Justice Roberts. Chief Justice Roberts, not known to be Trump supporter. Actually, in conservative circles, they said he is anti-Trumper.
Yep.
Chief Justice Roberts, and for multiple rulings, sided with the other side against Trump administration or whatever. So he is not the fan. However, he reassigned associate justices. We have 9 circuit courts, so he assigned associate justices to each circuit court for this election process review and stuff, right?
Yep.
So guess what did he do? So you have the new associate justice, Amy Coney Barrett. So she's going to be reviewing the Wisconsin cases. Mm-hmm. Kavanaugh is going to be reviewing the Michigan cases. Alito is going to be reviewing Pennsylvania case, which he already gave the wink wink that anything came after the election night is unconstitutional. They need to be separated. And since they disobeyed that and actually messed up exactly, because you cannot. They defied the local judge's court order when they said you have to allow Republican observers to go while they were still trying to catch up. But you are going against the order of the Supreme Court justice, and you're going to be in big pain because he's going to come and just throw it out. And most beautiful of all, dear legendary Justice Clarence Thomas is going to be in charge of the recount and cases coming out of Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
So Clarence Thomas is going to be in charge of Georgia. Now, to me, that's actually is a very interesting sign because Chief Justice Roberts cares about the Constitution, cares about the institution of the Supreme Court, and cares about balance of power, or just however you want to put it. He's an institutionalist. He doesn't want to see instability in a country, and he understands how grave this threat and this game was. And so think about it. He has 3 other justices that could put in charge of any of those states. He could put Sotomayor in charge of Wisconsin cases, or Kagan, and so why put all the conservatives in charge of those?
And here's the thing, man.
So to me, that's a positive sign.
It's a positive.
It's a positive sign.
People need to understand that United States it's the only country that has the longest running constitution in the world. Okay,
and we want to keep it that way.
We want to keep it that way, and it works unless you start to challenge it. Okay, when you start challenging it, you're gonna.
It has safeguards.
It has safeguards. Exactly. If you start challenging it, guess what? You're gonna fall flat on your face. This is why this is the greatest country in the world. When you have a country that runs on a constitution that's 200 years old, 240 years old, guess what? If it can run for that long, then something's right. And people who want to change the Constitution, guess why they want to change the Constitution? They want to change it for their own favor.
Because they want to turn the country into a banana republic. That's what they want to do. I mean, that's what it is. Look at Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to turn into an authoritarian socialist.
Exactly, and that's what Brexit never.
They can pack it and
that's
go.
what Brexit happened.
Yeah.
Okay, when you have a bunch of people trying to control the lives of millions of people, basically you said one day that the EU is gonna try to control the curvature of the banana. To say, I think that was the funniest
They
thing
want to
ever.
regulate the curvature of the banana, which is true. You leave these people; they're just mentally they're cuckoo.
They're cuckoo.
They
So
want to just
they're gonna basically
they have faith in nothing, so they have a messiah syndrome. Messiah-like. They want to be saving everybody, saving the smell, saving the wind, saving the planet.
Exactly.
As George Carlin said, they want to freaking save the freaking planet. Give me a break.
So yeah, I mean, in the reality, that's what globalism is. That's what control is. Okay, when you seek power, you're gonna try to get as many people under your wings as you can. Okay, and this is why you have so many people saying, "Oh, the Constitution needs to be changed. We need to change
Electoral college."
They challenged the Electoral College in 2016. Now they're in favor of an Electoral College. It's amazing how in 4 years the Democrats were able to fix the election process in this country. How it went from fraudulent to the most secure.
Because they wanted to be mob rule the whole country.
Exactly.
Big cities, like the authoritarian countries. You know what I'm saying? Power concentrated in a few big cities.
If you want electoral college,
you don't want to have a country like that.
I think if you want electoral college, I think they should be implemented into states as well. Okay, electoral college should be implemented into states as well. I think
so. Each county gets one vote.
Exactly. Can you imagine
that?
Can you imagine Illinois? Can you imagine Illinois?
But Chicago would have one vote, then the rest of the counties in the electoral college.
If you look at the maps of all the states except California and Washington,
Republicans are like 2,600 counties to like 500 counties.
If you look at Illinois, the entire state is red except Chicago and some of the surrounding counties. If you look at Georgia, 6 counties were blue. If you look at Pennsylvania, the entire state is red. If you look at Virginia, the entire state is red except like 6 or 7 counties. So you know what?
Bring the electoral college.
Bring the electoral college to the states. I think that should be one of the rules added to the
state constitution.
State constitution. Please hashtag electoral college for states.
Yep.
Hashtag electoral college for states. I think that would be a great way.
But I'm saying, Chief Justice Thomas is a very calculative guy. These are very calm, collected people. They're extremely knowledgeable.
Exactly what he's doing.
And they know what's going on behind the scene, that things that might not be news yet.
Yep.
I'm sure they know about it. You know what I'm saying? Once you're at that level, you're informed.
Yep.
Right? Or they inform them. They have people that they inform them what's going on. There's something going on that Chief Justice Roberts, somebody who is not known to be very, let's say, put it mildly, not very fond of Trump. Okay, Trump has his own personality, a strong personality.
But the justice doesn't really care about the president, though.
I know, but think about it.
He doesn't care.
Just the fact that he put all conservative justices, Supreme Court associate justices, in charge of the election cases of those 4 states, that tells me something. That is not an accident.
No, it's not.
Because he could have one, Kagan, Sotomayor, or Breyer, in charge of one of these states. But no, all 4.
This is why they want to pack the court.
All 4, and
they realize this is why they want to pack the court, right?
Exactly. So they're gonna go wild. I wouldn't be surprised if they shut down the whole mass mail, based on the precedent as I discussed. Jimmy Carter and James Baker commission that say this type of voting is the most. That's actually, they wanted to extremely limit the absentee ballot. So think about it. They didn't even foresaw this kind of like a Wild West mass cheat by mail operation. So definitely, I wouldn't be surprised to come and say mass mail voting is unconstitutional because it would the voters' privacy and the chain of custody cannot be determined.
Do you know in Wild West how they elected the president? they had a duo.
But back in the days.
Yeah, back in this. Can you imagine if Trump and Joe
Well,
Biden?
we'll see how it's going to go, but I think the next couple of weeks is going to be...
it's going to be crucial, actually.
Crucial.
For next couple of weeks is going to be interesting and crucial.
The whole Dominion, I think no matter what's going to happen, this whole electronic machine, foreigners, why you have a British lord, some shady guy with the Venezuelan guy tabulating our votes? Did anybody know that?
There's a lot of irregularities. There's a lot.
Forget about that.
No, I understand. No, what I'm trying to say. Oh my God, man! There's so much stuff that's coming out.
Venezuelan who on video
seized the Dominion servers in Germany. Poll watchers not being allowed. There's a whole bunch of stuff,
so
man.
Many scams.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you know. It's gonna take too long to talk about.
This is gonna be 2020. This is
2020 in a nutshell, man. This is 2020. Anyways, thanks for watching our episode today. Thank you for tuning in.
Questions.
Yeah, please. We'd love to hear your comments on this topic. Actually, we would love to answer some of your questions if you have any. Subscribe, hit the bell button. Share the video, please.
To create other social media and just
we will be pushing our podcast to other sources, so you can actually listen to our podcast for free. We will include the links. Please share, subscribe, and hit the bell button. We love you guys. Stay positive.
God bless America.
God bless America. Stay healthy, and we'll see you guys soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.